The Ballad of Mr. Missinho. Mr. Missinho was a modern-day Serenader. His keyboard, more than just an instrument, was his escape valve, the vessel for his deepest passion, music. His velvet, captivating voice lit up bars, bingo halls, and parties all across Atabiana. He was beloved, perhaps even adored. But on that night, after a gig in the distant hamlet of Quimidas, something waited for him on the road. The sky was unnaturally clear to clear. The full moon hung motionless and pallid, casting the landscape in a sickly white glow, like the light over a corpse. Missinho, spent and slightly drunk, tossed his gear into the trunk of his old Uno and set off. He knew every twist and turn of that road, but tonight it felt different, longer, darker, more alive. Then came the sharp snap of a tire blowing out. "Fuck," he muttered, as the car lurched sideways, like a lifeless body. He climbed out, swearing, and kicked at the thin grass on the roadside. The wind that swept past him was icy, damp, almost sentient. It carried a rotten scent, sweet and putrid, like fruit baking in the sun and dead meat. As he reached for the jack in the trunk, he heard a voice, not human, not from any one direction. It came from all around him, a guttural whisper, muffled, as if echoing beneath tons of earth. It spoke in an impossible tongue, twisted and wrong, made of sounds his mind shouldn't have understood, but did. "Is someone there?" he asked, his voice lower than he'd intended. No answer, only the rustling of trees, their branches seeming to lean toward him. Then the singing began. It was a song, the very tune he'd played at the Boronley, warped, fractured, as if played by skeletal hands on a rusty piano in a fungus-choked hall. The notes were rearranged, like a sacred hymn mutilated to appease something ancient and hungry. "No," he whispered, cold sweat coursing down his spine. The trees parted and she emerged, tall, skeletal, arms bending at nauseating angles. Her face was a quivering mass of flesh, stretched tight where eyes should have been. Instead, there was a gaping maw ripped nearly to the nape of her neck, from which dripped that same profane melody that haunted the night air. "You played for them," the creature croaked, her voice like the hinges of a coffin creaking open. "Now they want more." Missinho stumbled back, tripping over the spare tire. Instinctively, he flung open his driver's door and dove onto the seat. Without thinking, he turned the key. "Fuck you," he yelled, jamming the ignition. The creature shuddered. For a moment, the singing stopped a crack in its song. The engine stuttered, groaned, then caught. He slammed the accelerator in his rearview mirror. He saw shapes rising from the trees, tall, malformed figures like twisted scarecrows, marching in unison, chanting in a chorus of agony and exultation. The road became an endless maze. "Fuck, fuck, fuck," he screamed, eyes wide, mouth dry as parchment. And then he saw it in the middle of the lane. Himself, another miss in Hotola, skin white as melted wax, black hollow eyes burning with hunger, a grin of teeth, too long and sharp like nails. "They liked your music," the double rasped, 1,000 whispers in one voice. "Now you belong to them," Missinho screamed, jerked the wheel, tried to swerve. No crash came. Instead, he was back on stage, in the bar in Quimidas. The audience stared in absolute silence, but they had no faces, only melting masks' mouths, frozen in silent screams, black eyes dripping down their cheeks. His fingers moved on their own, playing the keyboard, the same twisted melody, music that was no longer his. Beside him, the creature watched, its skeletal hands guiding his play. "Missinho," she whispered, there listening, and so he played and sang forever. The next morning, they found the Uno abandoned by the roadside, flat tire, door ajar. The keyboard still on, emitting an unending, off-key hum, almost human. Almost a summons. They say that on nights of the full moon, along the back roads of Quamidas, you can still hear that music. And if you do, cover your ears, for it already knows your name. We hope you enjoyed our story. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us out and motivates us to keep creating quality tales for you. Thank you so much and see you next time.